All right, welcome to tonight's session. Tonight we are going to look at what we call closure deliverables. Closure deliverable, if you look at our project work breakdown structure or the project life cycle, you can see that we have closure stage. At the closure stage, there are some things we need to do. Those things what we call closure deliverables. Closure deliverables. I want to, because I find out some of the questions somebody asked in one of my classes, so many of us do not even understand what deliverables are, or the word deliverable in project management. Some people are trying to distinguish between task and deliverable. Task is the activity. You need to do it. That is what you are required to perform. Is your responsibility to execute a task, that activity. It can take you 1 day, 2 days, 1 hour, 30 minutes to work on that task. After working on the task, you're going to come up with a final outcome, a final product, little product of that particular activity. So final outcome of a task is what we call deliverable. When we finish a project, at the end of a project, we might come up with an outcome of that project, which if we are meant to build a website, by the time we finish that website project, you see a functional website like our web portal you can use to perform complex activities. So that website, like unif.uk, is a deliverable, a project deliverable that can help us to manage our course boot camp very well. That is deliverable. So I just took my time to explain it because a lot of people ask me this question and they said I'm just say deliverable and I don't even explain what deliverable. And I feel that so many of us might be in that shoe. So deliverable, you will see it a lot. So just know that is the outcome of whatever work you've done. That is deliverable. Okay, we have a lot of like 3 of deliverables within the closure stage. So that is what we are going to look at today. We are going to look at acceptance form deliverable. We are going to look at project implementation review. We are going to look at project closure report. You cannot just leave the project without getting this deliverable as done. Once you get them done and signed off, then you can see, yes, I've executed this project. Okay, the first deliverable we're going to look at tonight is client/project sponsor acceptance form. So when you deliver a project, when the project is now deployed, meaning within the execute stage, that is when you execute the solution you have been planning, building. Then after then you test and deploy. When you deploy it, that is when you come down to client acceptance form. You remember during demo, that is when you demo whatever you've done to the stakeholders. Once the stakeholders are happy with the project deliverable, then it's now time to give them funds to sign off. At this point, you hand over the project to them. Yes. This is done the time the project team hand over to them. In most cases, the business analysts conduct this activity and come up with this deliverable. But if there is no business analyst, the project manager should take it. But if there is a business analyst, the project manager should make sure that the business analyst send this form or start this activity, send this form to the project sponsor or the client to sign this form, signing off. Once the client sign off, it means that the client or the project sponsor have accepted the work you and your team have done. At times, you might go there for them to sign and say, no, we are not satisfied. They point out where they are not happy or things they think you should still need to fix before accepting it. Yeah. So that is it. It's just like you buy a product and the person delivers the goods to your house. You accept the goods after inspecting. You say you are happy. Then you sign off. You see some of the delivery men, they will be waiting for you to sign off, bit of inspection. Then another aspect of the deliverable, the delivery person can deliver the product to sign off. Then the platform where you buy the product might still be waiting for you to acknowledge that you are happy with the product. In some platform, if you do not acknowledge that you are happy, it might delay the payment of the vendor. But they are not going to wait for you forever to acknowledge. They will give you like 1 day after you receive the product. So they give you 1 day to report or make a case. If you don't make a case after 1 day, automatically it closes the deal and the person will receive the money. If you're coming like 3 days to say, this product, you're on your own because nobody is waiting for you. Yeah. So the client stroke project sponsor form is a crucial document signifying formal acceptance of the project deliverable by the client or the project sponsor. We are using clients because in so many cases, you might be in a company where you deliver projects for clients, customers, like they can hire your company to deliver a solution for them. Like what these companies are doing, all these consulting companies like Accenture, KPMG, Pricewater, Deloitte, some of all these consulting firms, this is what they do. You know, people like Zenith Bank can approach Accenture to build a mobile app for them. And you working there working in Accenture as a project manager, as a business analyst, you people will deliver the mobile app for Zenith Bank, and Zenith Bank will then review and accept. So in this case, Zenith Bank is a client. In some cases, some company does it in-house. For instance, Zenith Bank might decide that the marketing unit need a very good CRM system. So the Zenith Bank marketing HOD will then now approach the digital transformation unit or the project office and they will constitute your team internally within Zenith Bank to carry out this activity. In this case, the person, that particular HOD within Zenith Bank is called project sponsor because it's internally. I hope you are getting the difference where we can use client and then the project sponsor. In this kind of, so you know when to use client and when to use project sponsor is most of the time internal stakeholder, and client most of the time is an external stakeholder your company is working for. So that's it. This step is vital for closing the project successfully and ensuring that the client or the project sponsor is satisfied with the outcome. The outcome is the deliverable. Objective is to obtain formal acceptance form, to formally obtain formal acceptance form, the client or the project, from the client or the project sponsor. Confirm that all deliverables meet the agreed upon specification, like the acceptance criteria. That is it. Before they accept most of this work, they must make sure it's thoroughly reviewed and every requirement meets that threshold, standard benchmark, acceptance criteria. Most of the cases, these are the standard they are going to use to review and then accept. So because everything they are going to do, they cannot come and say, we are not accepting this, I want it this way. Whatever standard they are going to use for the acceptance must be in the acceptance criteria. They cannot invent a new acceptance criteria outside the original acceptance criteria. Then the last objective here is to document any outstanding issue or expectation. If there is any issue during that review, during the acceptance, it has to be documented. So the approach you are going to use, share the deliverable with the client or the project sponsor to review. So if you are planning to issue acceptance form on Friday, I'm using a scenario, it's better to send the full deliverable documents on Monday for the client or the project sponsor to review. Take time. Is not the day you want it, is the day you are saying, okay. So you need to send the form over time to go through all the requirements. After then, schedule a meeting to discuss any question or concern. By the time you are discussing a meeting to review or to discuss any question, they must have gone through your acceptance form and provide some feedback. So those feedback during the meeting is something you and the sponsor or the client will then talk about. So after then, make necessary revision based on the feedback. So if there's any feedback, then you make necessary revision. If it's something you can quickly fix with your team, you quickly fix it and then obtain formal acceptance through signed acceptance form. Once this form is signed, it's now a green light that yes, we've approached the end of the road for this project. And with that, the project manager will proceed to draft his or her own closure report. The project manager writes the overall project closure reports. So these templates can be used if you are planning for this kind of acceptance form, the acceptance form will have the project information like the project name, the project client, or the project sponsor, etc. Deliverables. All the deliverables need to be listed. Yeah. List of deliverables for acceptance. Acceptance criteria, like I said, when you are planning this project, you create acceptance criteria. As you are creating tasks, user stories, and the rest of them, you are creating acceptance criteria. So every deliverable must be reviewed against the acceptance criteria. At this point, you are not going to manufacture any acceptance criteria. So, and then room for comment and concern. This is where they are going to give feedback, because you need feedback, either positive or negative. You need a feedback. Then signature. It must be validated with the sponsor's signature and a date. So that's how it should look like. So it's not a big job. So yes. So looking at this, we have example dynamics 365 CRM cell project. The project name is CRM sales enhancement. The client is XYZ Corporation, and the sponsor can be project John Smith. And under this acceptance form, you see the project information as it captures the project name, the project, the client, or the project sponsor. In some cases, in that corporation, you might equally put the client, like, let's say, Zenith Bank, and the particular person representing the Zenith Bank, you might put the person's name as well as the sponsor. So you can capture both of them at the same time together. Deliverables. Updated CRM system. Enhanced sales dashboard. And automation of sales processes. If you are creating a CRM system, this might be the main reason why you want a new CRM system. Maybe updated CRM system, maybe there is a version, you are using version 1, like you are using old iPhone, and now you want to use iPhone, latest iPhone Pro Max. You see, that's it. Or you might want to migrate from a smaller CRM system to a more sophisticated CRM system. Or you are not even using CRM system. You are using analog way of marketing, sales and marketing. And now you want to adopt a CRM system. So the CRM can say, we want a CRM with enhanced sales dashboard. Within the dashboard, you are seeing all the metrics within the sales dashboard. And then automation of sales processes. All the sales activities is highly automated. This is a clear deliverable. Now, for this deliverable to be accepted, this form to be signed, it's expected that you meet all these acceptance criteria, like the system functionalities matches specification, dashboard provide relevant insights, and sales processes automated successfully. In this case, you can see that all the acceptance criteria, if has been met, because during the testing, these are the things we test to make sure once the project sponsor have agreed that all these criteria here, we have met all these criteria. The next thing is going to be here to give a feedback. They cannot leave this place, this comment or feedback session blank, even if everything we've met all the acceptance criteria. Like you see here, the comment here is no concern. Everything meets expectation. If there is any concern, they will highlight and list all their concerns that need to be addressed. And you see signature here, client signature, the name, and the date. So that is it. That is how it should look like. So most companies will have this kind of template. As you see this here, this is a template. You don't need a big, or just very simple. If you are working as a project manager for whatever you're working, I advise you, the best deliverable should be very simple, easy to understand, straight to the point, just like this one here, very simple. So this, I leave this for you as a template. If you have not done it before, in our project, when you finish your project and you happen to be the one to submit, if you adopt this template to submit your acceptance form, it's going to be accepted. This now moves us to what we call post-implementation review. Post-implementation review, you can equally call it lesson learned. Lesson learned is extremely important. As a matter of fact, you remember when we treated Prince 2, everything about Prince 2 is lesson learned. Because why do we continue to make mistakes? We continue to make mistakes because we don't look at lessons. Why are there so much unemployment in Nigeria today? Because most of the institutions are not documenting anything. There is no documentation. As a matter of fact, there should be a dedicated office for reviewing performances, university graduate performances outside the university. But they are not doing that. And that's why they cannot measure the effectiveness of their teaching. So some of us, we are seeing that kind of thing and we're kind of learning from that. So we monitor, that's why we keep on chasing our students. Some of you might feel they will always reach out for you. Chidera is always asking you to send review, send success story, send all these things. Some of you are feeling that it's for marketing purposes. Good. It helps us to market, but equally it helps us to, analyze. Are we really capturing the market? Are we really making impact? What do we need to do? What do we need to add? That is it. When I started, for instance, this AI, we started with AI prompt engineering. For those who are looking at our record, I keep monitoring the market. I keep monitoring those who apply. I keep on telling you, just apply. Whatever, let me know the outcome of your but some of us are very mischievous. Some of you here are very, very mischievous people. Because once they will be following you, they will be disturbing you. Once they get something, the person will disappear from the radar. You even exit from the platform, because they don't want anybody to hear about their success. Now, they are now seeing you as a witch. because you're asking them, what is the progress? Have you gotten a job? How much are they paying you? All those things are metrics for us to know your performance outside here. But they don't want to share. They cannot tell you. But some of you are very dedicated. That's why I can come here and tell you that some of you are earning between 3,000 to 4,000 every month. I didn't know. Some of you who are very dedicated will come and tell me, oh, Mr. Child, this has really impacted him. Do you know that since I've gotten this job, this is what they are paying me? Do you know that I've gotten a rise? What course can I do to consolidate my position? Do I need to do certification to do this? You know, I never had, I'm just a medical doctor, I'm just a pharmacist. Do I need to consolidate? I said, okay, at this point, we've gotten this job, you're approaching Nigeria. Yeah, you can do your PMP, you can do this and that. You can, so, for some of you, once you follow them, like this man, I don't know. Person no go rest now. I've finished my boot camp now, waiting again. You know, so that is it. Some of you will not come and give feedback. On that case, there's nothing we can do. So, but it's important, that is where the lesson learned. We need to learn from the mistakes. We need to learn from the progress. That will help us in the next coming projects. For instance, the next coming boot camp, we know how to restructure our boot camp. So that the people coming after you will do better than you. And that's how we keep improving. If there is solid lesson learned from our various universities, there are no need you are going into a particular course where you see that all the people who have graduated from this course over the past 10 years have not secured job. And then you yourself, you are going there. And there is no even, so it's important, you know, lesson learned. You are into restaurants, you cook rice and beans. For the past one month, you've been cooking rice and beans, bringing it to your place of sale. You hardly sell half of your food. So many of you keep on bringing, that is waste. This is lesson learned. You can document it so that if somebody else, or if you yourself, you might change. Next time you change your product, you change whatever you are cooking. So it's extremely important. So we don't make the mistake other people have made, or we don't make the mistake we made in the former project. This is extremely excellent way, you know, of managing not just projects, of living a life, documentation, improvement, that it gives direction for the newer activities or newer products. So the post-implementation review assesses the overall success of the project and identify lessons learned. It helps in understanding what went well, what could have been improved, and how these insights can be applied to future projects. This is very, very important. It's good for everybody. You know, not only for project manager, everybody. We should be documenting lessons, you know, it's very, very important. The objectives: evaluate project performance against initial objective. What is the initial plan? How far did you deviate from the original plan? Identify strengths and areas for improvement. What are the key strengths? What are the key areas of improvement? You see now, the world has completed World Cup. But now, if you go down now, this is now when the the work has started. The business analysts, every country who are very serious, they are business analysts, they are now reviewing what went, they will bring a video, because very soon they will go out to get new coaches. Some countries are going to fire their coaches who didn't perform up to their standard. So they need to review a lot of mistakes. And that will determine the kind of technical manager they are going to hire. And that's it. And you see them, they will come back next time. A country who didn't even cross will then proceed to quarterfinal, semi-final. It's because they learned a lesson from this particular World Cup. So the objectives, like I said, learn, capture lesson for future references. That's the last, and identify strengths and area for improvement and evaluate the overall performance. And the approach, you need to gather feedback from the project team. What is the feedback? You must gather the feedback. Analyze project documentation and performance metrics. Conduct a meeting to discuss findings and document lesson learned and recommendation. Okay. For instance, you see England national team, they didn't proceed to semi-final. That was one of their biggest wish in this World Cup, but they fell short of that. They need to sit down, gather feedback from the players as team members. It's important. And then document and conduct, discuss, finding what really happened. Why? How come you people scored the first goal and lost that match? So they need to find out what happened. You can apply it in all the projects. It's very, very important. More especially we, the young project managers. When I started my journey as a project manager, you see, we have what we call the project repository, the kind of project archive. All the past projects handled in that company is in that place. You can see them every day. So that place happened to be my favorite place. I will always go there. When any small time I will just go there. I will see who handled this project. I will see mistakes. I will see this. I will see that. And that really helped me. All I do that time, after everything, I'll start looking for all the people that handled that project. I will sit you down and I ask you a question. Why did you do it? They'll tell me, Charles, it was seriously I was under pressure. This happened. There is no, I will capture all those things. Fair enough, some of those stakeholders that were frustrating them in one way or the other, many of them are still within the company. So even before you approach the stakeholder, you kind of visualize the stakeholders' mindset, the way the stakeholder behave. The next time you want to visit the stakeholder, based on the past project, you already know that if you go this way, it's going to go this way. So it's important for you to learn. So we can use this template as well for that. If we are going to have an effective post-implementation review or lesson learned documentation or lesson learned reports, the first thing is to get the project information, just like this, project name, duration, team members, all the information about this project should come under project information. Then objectives of this evaluation is to compare the outcome against the original plan. original objectives. And then success factors, identify success factors contributing to success. Everything that contributed to success, punctuality, everything, you have to document it. Then challenges in these projects. What are the key challenges? Like in this boot camp, some of you tell them to fill form, they will not fill form, they refuse to do that. Some of them will tell them to do your enrollment, they refuse to do the enrollment. So all the challenges, what lead to that? And then when the projects have, the internships have started, they will come, they run and tell you, I've not been enrolled, I've been on. And if you don't have enough time to do it immediately, they will start missing some key activities. By the time they will be joining the project internship, the team has gone, and they will start. By the time they finish the boot camp, we find out that they didn't benefit the way they should have benefited from the boot camp. Find out that they didn't. There's a lot, they didn't know. It's not so. This could be challenges. So, how do we stop these kind of challenges? So, you must identify all the challenges encountered during the project. So, and lesson learned. So at this point, you are the person who partake in this boot camp. So if you didn't capture everything, lesson learned in this boot camp, so that you know how you, maybe other boot camps you want to enroll. So, lesson learned. You've captured the successes, factors that led to success, and you captured all the challenges. All the challenges here, you must equally talk about how you try to handle the challenges. And then lesson learned. You must learn your lesson from every challenge you pass through. What are the lessons learned? You must learn your lesson, and you need to document them. You need to be honest. The recommendation. You can recommend, after what I went through in the hand of Mr. Charles, I don't recommend anybody to enroll in Mr. Charles bootcamp again. This could be a recommendation. Yeah. So, and you come and yeah, so that's the recommendation. It could be. And you come down here, this is the live lesson learned, which will apply to these Dynamics 365 CRM cells. So you see here, this is the project information. You capture the project information, then you capture the name, project duration, project manager. These are team members, developer, QA, BA. You need to capture all the team members in this project. You must capture all of them. Whether you like them or you don't like them, just capture them, BAs, Q, all of them. So you see, objective evaluation. You need to state objectives. How do you meet your objective? Achieve 95% of the specified objectives. So all the objectives, how many of them? Maybe one of them you couldn't capture one of the objectives, but you captured. That is still a very much outstanding performance. Success factors: strong collaboration among team members, effective project management. You can equally put timekeeping, and whatever you feel have contributed, you need to capture them. So, and all these, you see, if you have been doing what we call lesson learn meeting every week, which I said that lesson learn meeting should be kind of statutory meeting every week. If you are documenting all these lesson learned every week, by the time you are going to complete this project, you must have documented a lesson learned log, a lot. You must have logged a lot. And all you need to do is refine them, and it becomes your lesson learned document. So in this case, challenges faced. One of the challenges here is initial data migration, delay in third-party integration. So maybe you and your team struggle to migrate data and have kind of delay in third-party integration. So you have to state the lesson you learn from this particular challenge. So if you are given the opportunity to do this project all over again, what will you do? These are what we call lesson learned. You are going to start early. Early testing is crucial for data migration and better communication with third-party vendors. So if you are to do this project again, this is your challenges and this is lesson learned. So this is what you are going to do. Yeah, this is what you learn. And recommendation, implement a more robust data migration plan. So you've seen that the kind of challenges you have, you need to have a comprehensive data migration plan. Establish a clear communication channel with the vendor. So if you have used a generic stakeholder management or generic stakeholder communication sheet, this time around you need to use a more customized communication sheet when it comes to vendors. So this can become, so this is how a project lesson learned or post-implementation review. So that is reviewing what went well, what didn't go, and what you and your team could have done better. So that's it. So this particular template can serve as a template for post-implementation review, or you call it lesson learned document, or whichever one, because we're going to, some people will call it post-implementation review, some will call it lesson learned, or whichever one is see the same thing. If there's nothing different between the two. Then project closure report. And this lesson learned, the project manager should lead the activity. Is you, the project manager, should facilitate this, but every team member should be part of it to discuss what went well and what didn't go well, and how you and your team could have done it better. And then we'll come to the third closure deliverable. The third closure deliverable, which is project closure report. By the time this report is dropped, then it means that everybody needs to carry their bag and start looking for another project. So the project closure report provides a comprehensive overview of the entire project, summarizing its objectives, achievements, challenges, and closure process. It serves as a formal document to communicate to the project stakeholders that this project has come to an end. So the objective of this project closure report is to summarize project outcome and achievements, document any outstanding issue or risk, and confirm closure of the project activity. Number one on the approach is to review project documentation and performance reports. Compile a comprehensive report, summarize the key aspects. Share the report with the stakeholders for feedback and make any necessary revision based on the feedback. So you see all this documentation, they kind of have similar pattern, but they are different documents. So don't say I've done post-implementation review. Why am I wasting my time? There are different documents in project management. We regard all of them as different, but we must do all of them. You can't say I've received the acceptance form. Is there any need for project closure report? Yes, that is what the project management best practice said. So templates, you see here we have under the project overview, you capture the project name, project objective, and the duration, and then you capture the achievement, capture the summary of successful completed milestones, then challenges and risk. Then you already have your risk register or read log. Go to risk register or read log and extract all the risks, all the issues, challenges, and those who are still open. So at this point, most of the risk, everything should be closed by this time. If you are closing, because at this time you should have resolved every issues or risk, you should have closed everything. But if there is any outstanding issues, then you still need to, it's something that needs to be addressed. Any remaining issues to be addressed. Closure confirmation, formal confirmation of the project closure. So all these key sections must be completed before you can say that I've effectively closed the project. So in some cases, you can put a signature, sign it. Even if you don't put a signature, sign it, the project has been signed off already by the project sponsor. Mind you that you cannot proceed to closure report until the sign-off form is completed. So looking at this, we'll have the project overview, have CRM sales enhancement project. Objective is to improve CRM functionalities, enhance dashboard, and within 6 months. Achievement, successfully implemented a CRM enhancement, improved sales dashboard functionality. And the key challenges and risk is here we have addressed initial data migration issue and mitigated delay in third-party integration. So these are the key challenges you have, but it has been addressed. So you've solved it, it's closed. Outstanding issues. Here you see none. All identified issues have been resolved. So it's important that you work so hard to resolve every issue before you close the project. So if you are closing a project and they will have some issues unresolved, it won't look good on your CV. Then closure confirmation, officially close dates and time, and you put your signature. And with this, we can say we've come to the end of this training. So the next phase we are opening is going to be to put whatever we learned so far into practice within the remaining period. And this stage we are entering, I have to tell you, is more important than the training, because you might be thinking, I've learned everything, I'm now a project manager, everything is so easy. Yes, I found myself in that situation. I thought, I'm not a project manager now, but when you started trying to put things into practice, you find out that it's a different ball game. You find out that some project managers, more especially the ladies, they will go home every night crying. You know, they go and cry. I don't know why this man is doing this to me. I know the man hates me from the first day. All the time I want to have a meeting with him, he will say no, and I will not have time again. You see, you'll be panicking, sweating, you know. But when we're having it, I say stakeholder management, QUAM, you just now stakeholder analysis, I'll deliver stakeholder analysis. You go copy my templates and say, simple. Yeah, so that's why it's important to participate. During the execution, you might see me, you might see a different me. You might chase me around for 2 weeks and I'm not even talking to you. And you say, I thought this man is a good man. No? So is that wicked? Yeah? Yeah, at times I do it deliberately to show you that people can change. Project manager, stakeholders can turn out to be what you never expected them to be, you know? So, yeah. So experts might frustrate you intentionally, but will say, yeah, just like some of our lecturers keep on frustrating us, you know, intentionally. So, and the funny aspect of it is that some of these lecturers, they are going to take sorting. But me, I don't take sorting. So I don't even take kindness. So don't even think about it. So we don't know how we're going to handle that kind of wickedness when it comes to projects, you know, execution. So when you go out there, you say, I've seen the worst scenario, and that is what you need when you have seen it all. So if you have any question for me, bring it on. And don't ask me what am I going to do to please me. All right. So any question? Okay. John P.
Sir, good evening, sir. Thank you very much for the class so far. Sir, please, I'm drawing you back a bit. The field camp, like I noticed that we can only, is it that anytime we want to log into the field camp that will bring us to the autonomous community, we will go through the link in the email, or if we can we enter the autonomous community field camp through, like you go to the web and click on field camp.
The field camp is a software, and the web address for field camp is freedcamp.com. Simple. So once you go to freedcamp.com, you don't need to follow the email address. That's what I use to invite you to FreedCamp. But once you already have an account with FreedCamp, go to freedcamp.com. You go to login, you see login page, you put your email and you put your password. And once you log in, it's going to bring you to a dashboard and you will see the team you belong. You will see our team. That is your team. Under your team, you see all the projects your team are working on. Your team, I can assign up to 3 projects for your team. If we have time, we can do two projects. If we don't have time, if you are working with us permanently, you can even do up to 5 projects. You see all the projects you are working on. So that is the way Freed Camp works. But we are going to, once we want to go start a project, the first thing we are going to do is to have induction, another induction on how to use Freed Camp. So that one is another lesson, but under internship, not under training, because now you have started your work, but we need to induct you to teach you how to work effectively within the environment you are working, and then give you the project briefing you of what we want you to achieve for us, you and your team, and then you go there and scatter yourself. Is that clear? John P.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Lady Mary Ubawa.
Thank you for the class, sir. Good evening, sir.
This your surname is it's for Odogu people.
Mm. Don't know. Sir, I'm not asking you to like you according to what you said last, like what are we going to do to please you? I'm not asking for you in particular. And I think you've discussed something like this before in one of our classes, but I can't really remember the answer. In case we meet someone who is so difficult, maybe a project owner. No, is it the project owner in this case? But sponsor, yes. And it's so difficult to get, and then we need the attention of the person so urgently. Maybe the time, because of the timing. What do we do?
So I said, you're trying to say when you meet a difficult stakeholder, how do you handle difficult stakeholder like me? Is that what you are trying? So you're indirectly asking, how do you meet?
No, I'm sir. No, sir. No. I'm not talking about you. I mean somebody else.
But this is where I belong now. I'm a very difficult stakeholder. Okay.
No, sir. Not you.
Let me give you a tip.
Okay.
In project management, or in project you are going to manage, let me tell you, no stakeholder is intentionally difficult or wicked. Nobody is coming there to frustrate you. But you is the person that is going to give them the leg to hate you. If you don't give them that hand, they are not going to frustrate you. I will give you an example. Learn stakeholders' do's or don'ts. Like I told you, if I join a project and they have project management office and they have archive or repository, I will go there and start looking for lesson learned. You learn how those other people, how they navigated. You know, for instance, you enter university, you ask questions about lecturers. All the lecturers, you see all the courses you need to do, you ask lecturers, who are these lecturers? How do they? So in our own case, when I was in UNN, there is one lecturer called Mr. Asamoah. If you look at the history, most exams from FOSIA will come to monitor external candidates in that man. And that is the final exam. Is advanced financial management. So if you come there, you see up to 150 external candidates. These are people that are supposed to be graduated, but they couldn't graduate because of that man's cost. And they have up to 150 of them. What is that telling you? You need to go and study the DNA of that man. Yes. So understand the stakeholders. I would use myself as an example. I've told you, if you want to get me, just chat me up via my WhatsApp. Most of you people who have been chatting me up via, you send me email via my email address. It might take time for me to respond to you via the email. You call me on phone, I might not even pick my call, but the moment you drop it, email, bam, you get a response. People operate that way. And they always tell you, well, give me a call, or just send me an email, just chat me up, send me an email. But you will go and follow your own process. You want your own. You tell me that I send you an email. I told you just send a WhatsApp message, but you told me I send it. You see, you start dragging with that man. That this I've sent you. Why? You are looking for a favor from that stakeholder. Just look at every stakeholder that you work with. You are looking for a favor from that stakeholder. They are helping you to finish your project. Don't feel that, are you not part of this organization? Is their responsibility. So don't see it that way. If you are seeing it that is their responsibility to must respond, no, some people, it might be their responsibility, but you might not have the same level they have in that company. They might even be part owners of that company. So you can lose their job and they will not lose their own job. It's all about getting a new project manager to do the job. So learn every stakeholder. Don't manage stakeholder A the way you manage stakeholder B. Don't use generic approach when it comes to stakeholder management. Tailor communication to every stakeholder's nature of need. Do not take the important stakeholders by surprise. No things should come to them by surprise. For instance, all of a sudden, you take the stakeholder, we run out of budgets. How? You have not been showing how you've been spending the money, like resource utilization. The stakeholder have never seen anything about resource utilization. All of a sudden, you've exhausted the resources for the project. You say how? So everything you need to do, carry them along. Key decisions, carry them along. Important stakeholder, carry them along. For instance, now you are the project manager. You set up a free camp for your team where you are working, and you onboarded all the team members, and you refuse to onboard the project sponsor. Yeah, the project sponsor is not coming there to take any chores or any tax. But what you've done, you've given the project sponsor the insight to be seeing what you and your team is doing without even submitting report. So that submitting reports to him is an extra layer of your commitment and transparency. You already be seeing what you guys are doing. All the time you assign work, you review, you'll be getting notification. of every activities you are taking. So if a stakeholder say email, if his email is the adopted, which the stakeholder, follow the stakeholder with email. Don't go and start sending stakeholder WhatsApp message because Mr. Charles say send WhatsApp message to me. After all, he says Mr. Charles not a stakeholder. I've worked with stakeholder now. What is his problem, sir? I used to communicate with Mr. Charles with WhatsApp, and this man is telling no. You are going to lose your job. Don't tell Mr. Charles that dragged me into this problem. I didn't drag you. We are different. You know? Some stakeholders, they say, put your camera on, you know, during the meeting. Maybe they like seeing beautiful faces like that of Aisha. And whenever you want to talk, you put off your camera and the stakeholder will be angry. Why is this lady always closing his camera? You don't want me to see, you know? Do whatever they ask you to do, except going to the other room if you are not interested, you know? So, try to learn stakeholders and do what they want with that. But, for instance, now, I've asked you from the beginning now, I said self-enrollment. We started fighting on that. I asked you to self-enroll yourself. I said, after 2 weeks, this boot camp portal is going to automatically close. I gave you 2 weeks. Every time I come to lesson, I'll continue to talk about it. And I eventually close the portal. Immediately the portal closed, you come back to me, Mr. Charles. I have not been able to access courses. And I went to the portal, you did not enroll. I told you, but I asked you people to enroll. Why didn't you enroll? You told me I forgot. I said no. Well, you told me, after all, I paid for this course. You have started a fight between me and you because you want to tell me that you can fight. That is number. I will go and record it for you somewhere in my black book. You see this lady, you will not graduate from this class. As you want to tell me that you pay for this course, start it from there. I will start monitoring you. I say, go and fill the form. Everybody will fill the form and will start. You come back again, Mr. Charles. I have not been onboarded. I say, did you fill the form? I didn't fill the form. Why? Well, I didn't hear about it, but I keep announcing it. Do you see how you are inviting trouble yourself? Yeah. These are examples of how you start engaging yourself in a fight. You make the stakeholder to know whom you are in a negative way. They'll start thinking you are not a serious project manager. If any opportunity is out there to replace you, you'll be the first person to raise hand if you are in a board meeting to discuss projects and the performance of projects. You'll be the person. Are we sure this young lady can deliver this important project? That's going to be his question. Because I don't think that lady is serious enough to deliver this important, critical project for this organization. That man has reported you to the board. And some other people will pick interest in you. And so these are ways to start what you cannot finish. And these are ways to become a phenomenon in an organization. You know, we monitor. When we started here, I started by monitoring all of you. And I say that, yes, you can say whatever you want, but Aisha is outstanding. And I say, can you lead this class for me? I want people that will help us to deliver. It's simple. If you are in this World Cup, no matter how you like a player, you need a player that can score goals for you as a coach. No, you don't. That is, they say they don't feature. You need somebody who can score goal. Because when the players cannot score goal, you cannot win. And then nobody is going to talk about the player. They are going to talk about you, the coach. Actually, look at what they are doing to the England coach. The way everybody is criticizing the man, you know. So feature those important players. Maybe in the first other man he wanted to feature. Let me give you an example. He liked Harry Kane. Harry Kane is yeah, maybe they have this and that. Every game you want to feature Harry Kane. Every game you want to feature Harry Kane because you like Harry Kane. In projects, you don't feature people you like. You feature people that help you deliver. And they criticize him. He's at the point of losing his job. And in the next game, he decided that I will feature all these boys. You see that all the boys that perform, I'm not a racist, I'm not biased, but some people are making comments. Maybe you didn't feature these boys because they are black boys you want to feature. These are comments I see some people. Then you feature all the black boys. The black boys came there within the first half, they scored 4 goals against almighty France. Can you see that? That's what we call project management. Feature people, we look at people who will help us deliver. When you start fighting me, I'm not here for fight. I'm here to deliver. So when I'm starting with you, you're here to tell me yeah, you work with Zenith Bank before, you've worked with Accenture. This, I don't care. This is my own little kingdom. I'm the governor here. So if you want to be my best buddy, do what I want to do. It's as simple as that. So that's what so many of you, how you enter problem. You know, you enter a class and the lecturer, you'll be the last person when the lecturer is already, is very, very irritating. I noticed that when I was in uni. Lecturer will enter and he will enter after the lecturer. Some lecturers see it as rude. Class will be going on and you've already carried your bag and left. Lecturer will notice you. Even if you don't know, you will go and ask him and record you somewhere. Maybe you say maybe this lady is exceptional. He will target you, and in some other classes will pinpoint and ask you dangerous questions. And you won't even attempt to. You see that you don't even know anything and you don't even want to know. If the lecturer want to do, you want to show that the lecturer is driving Beetle and they are using Mercedes as a big gear. It's okay. Come and graduate now. See, I know you cannot graduate from this university if you don't pass this course. Even if your father is $10, it's not gonna work. Maybe you will go to Unica, but in this UNN, you cannot graduate. So you see the way you start fighting with stakeholders. Don't do that. Do what they want. And it's very easy to know what they want. Make communication, activities, punctualities, and this and that. Some of them are not interested in your money. And when you start having problems, you want to go and start bribing them. Some of them are not that kind of beggars. You know, we see when we're in uni, and then we have some lecturers who visit UK, US every summer, all the time. So this kind of people, you want to come and put 10,000 in envelope to give the man because of what? You know, it's not gonna work. So that's it. I think I've explained myself. So if you are those people who have been building up fights between me and you, you know, very soon I will start. So that's it. Any more questions? Okay. Thank you, everyone. As a matter of fact, my intention for you here is that you go and become success. You know, I've seen what definition of success is. If you start, I'm not gonna beg you money. All I want is, if you finish, tell us that you are now making $5,000 every month. To be very happy for you. Yeah.
Amen.
So it's achievable. It's not, yeah, and it's achievable through hard work, consistency, and yeah. I see some of my students, I see so many of them. We started like a joke like this. Over 5 years now, some of these people who have been earning this huge amount of money. I know some here who have successfully moved their family to UK. I know some of them who are now abroad. They couldn't have done that if not because of the boot camp. I know some of them who are already here, who are trying. Some of them have bought their first property. I know in UK, not in Nigeria. Some of them are doing well in Nigeria. They've bought so many properties in Nigeria. Some of them, I saw one of them starting her own big company. He's still working on it. He started a big, very big company in Nigeria. And they wouldn't have been possible. You know, some of them is this Equi that you are seeing. Equi is massively rich. He travels the world, do whatever he likes. He was once like you, before me. You know? So, when I say I've seen definition of success, I've seen so many people who have stood out after their boot camp. They've worked, they set up their own business, they are doing well. And this is what I want. I want a situation whereby I can use you to brag, because I like bragging. All right. Thank you. And
thank you. Thank you for this
we'll
class.
see again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. we can always get reference letter from you.
If you are doing what you are supposed to do, reference is the least thing I can do for you. But not when you didn't participate in anything. You want reference letter. I'm not gonna, because the reference letter I will give you is better than I didn't give you reference letter, because I will say the truth about you, how curious you are during the project camp and the internship. But if you are very good, yeah, I will even tell them that if they don't apply you fast, I will apply. If they don't employ you fast, I will employ you again. I will give you a raise, not to leave me. So I know we know what to do to boost, boost your status when it comes to somebody who is doing well. If you are doing the part you are supposed to do, we are ready to do our own part, because you cannot take my own job. So there is no way I shouldn't be happy seeing you progressing, because you can't take my own job and I cannot do your own job.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We'll miss seeing your face constantly.
So we'll be meeting once a week.
Yeah, activity. Yeah, we are going to have a lot of activities. We might see more often before, because I need to make sure that you guys are settled